as we approach the celebration of Kwanzaa, which is from December 26th through January 1st of each year, there are a number of symbols that are a part of the Kwanzaa celebration. Now, you can celebrate Kwanzaa without them, but I chose to follow the celebration in the way that the originator, Malwana Karenga, had put it together. And so first here we have what some people might just call a mat. It's also in Swahili, and that is not a native language that I speak, but this is also called the Mkeka. And it is really just a raffia mat. And as a matter of fact, although I was born in this country, I was raised in Nigeria, and we were taught to make raffia mats when I was a kid. So this is an art and craft piece that, you know, we buy mats for our tables and all of that. This is a mat that we use in Kwanzaa. So this is a Kikombe. You might want to just call it a unity cup. It's actually Kikombe cha Umoja, which is the unity cup. And so in my family, at Kwanzaa time, every single evening when we come together, we put whatever choice juice that we want. We don't use alcohol, but some people might if you're older, and so on and so forth. And first we do our libation, so honoring, venerating our ancestors. And that does not mean you're worshiping your ancestors, but just let me use the Christian tradition. Just like you read the Bible and it says so-and-so begat and so-and-so begat and so-and-so begat, and they give you their whole history and genealogy. It's so important that we also remember who we come from. And so we call our personal ancestors, but we also call historical ancestors, and we acknowledge them. And then as we go through the evening, everyone in the family, everyone around the circle, so to speak, gets to drink from the Kikombe, this unity cup. So this is one of the symbols that we use in Kwanzaa as well. So right here is the Canara, that is the base, the candle base. And then you have the candles, and of course you can see the colors, green, black, and red. And if you don't know what the colors stand for, I'm gonna encourage you to go watch part 1 of our Kwanzaa interview, because Baba Tunde explained what they are, so this will give you an incentive to go learn a little bit more about it. But the candles are called Mishumaa, Saba, and again, these are Kiswahili terms, and the base is Canara. And on this base, it might be a little hard for you to make out, but there's actually a Sankofa bird. There is a bird, that is the body of the bird, this is the neck, this is the head, and it is looking backwards. And Sankofa basically stands for go back and get. So our goal with Kwanzaa is to go back and get the knowledge, the wisdom, the traditions, the cultural things that have made us strong, that have allowed us to endure. First of all, before I say what we endured, that allowed us to build and create in the way that we did. Whether we're talking about the pyramids, or whether we're talking about writing, science. Did you know that what is called a cesarean section, the very first one, was actually performed in Kemet, the area now called Egypt? Yes, there were black people. And so the Sankofa bird says, return, go back and fetch that knowledge and that information and that understanding of who you are, so that you're no longer so easily swayed by what is now being presented as who we are as black people, as African people. So this is the Kinara, very important in Kwanzaa. And what we do, every night you light a different candle, and each candle stands for a different, so there's 7 candles because there's 7 principles. And so every night of our celebration, we light a different candle until the last night when you light the black candle that's in the middle. So go back and listen to the first part, and you're gonna find out what all the candles stand for. And so here you might see this beautiful basket, and the basket itself is also woven. I actually got this basket in Nigeria, so it was handcrafted. So a lot of what we talk about with Kwanzaa is going back to our roots, is also going back to just when we made things ourselves. I know for myself now, I make my own shea butter blend and all of that for my family. I make my own jelly, I make my own hot sauce, I make my own tomato puree, you know, and I can't wait to learn how to make many more things. I used to crochet as a child. Some of you might want to go back to that. Some of you may still do that, quilting, so on and so forth. But this is the Mazao, and this is incorporated into Kwanzaa from the concept of first fruits, harvest time. We understand we don't eat, we don't live, right? So harvests are a big thing in Africa, and what the founder of and creator of Kwanzaa did was incorporate African principles and African concepts into the celebration of Kwanzaa. So even though it's winter in this hemisphere where I am, this is actually a collection of fruits from my own garden here in the quote unquote city. So I've got some potatoes here. I've got purple sweet potatoes. I have Chinese potato here. I've got a lemon from my lemon tree, a honeydew melon, some ripe and unripe tomatoes, some peppers, but it could be anything. And of course, you don't have to be growing your own food. It could be fruits that you bought from the store as well. Typically there'll be ears of corn as well. I don't have those because I don't have any corn here, and I wasn't gonna put fresh corn. That was going to rot on me. But that is the Mazao. It is one of the traditions and symbols that we use in Kwanzaa as well. And another tradition, if you will, of Kwanzaa is gift giving. But it's not the commercialized, let's go out and charge up our credit cards kind of gift giving and then be stressed out. It's really about thinking about who you love, who you're with, and creating, crafting gifts that are meaningful to them. And so one of the things that I do now is I make homemade jelly. And this is a gift I give to people who like jelly. Not everybody is into it, but straight from the garden, other people's gardens really, because these grapes grow everywhere. And I make the jelly, I put it in jars, and I gift it to people, and they love it. And so Kwanzaa with Zawadi, yes, you can use store-bought gifts, but the idea is to really be very intentional about your gift giving, and if possible, to make things yourself that you can give to people. So some of you may be good at baking, some of you may make soap, some of you may, you know, sew or whatever, but thinking about gifts that have a heart to it and just not the commercialization of it. And that would be Zawadi. And there are definitely other symbols that you can incorporate. Again, all of these are optional, but this is a tricolor flag. As you can see, it's red, black, green, like the candles. It's got an image of Africa on it. And this is the Bendera ya Taifa. And this is one more symbol that we're encouraged to use during Kwanzaa. Again, you don't have to, but the idea again of centering Africa, centering our history, centering our culture, as opposed to what America tries to make us do, which is to center the trauma, to center the lies, to center all the ways that they've tried to dehumanize us. We bring it back to who we are. The blood, the land, and the people. Red, black, and green.